literally been like this since the summer started. It's clear and sunny, and then anywhere between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. What's up guys, this is Rob with Beautiful Americana, the channel dedicated to showcasing beautiful places, people, and things that make up this glorious country known as the United States of America. June is almost over, and I mean, it's pretty much just every single day it's been a downpour. And it's been really, really hard to shoot content. I started a new job. I'm trying to reconnect with some friends and family in the area. It's been a challenge. However, last Sunday, there was an actual good 4-hour window where the sky, it was beautiful, and actually there were still some clouds, so it was casting a nice kind of filtered glow upon the land. And so I knew what I needed to do. Honestly, it could have rained at any second. It was still very humid in the air, so I decided to stick to my own backyard, where I'm currently living. You know, nature photography is still a very broad umbrella. You have landscape photography on one side, and then you have wildlife on the other. And both are two very different things. Landscape is you're just taking a picture of the beauty that is the scenery. Wildlife, you are chasing varying degrees of different sized critters around and taking pictures of them. Both can be extraordinarily dangerous depending on what you're trying to do, like climb a mountain, or there's some people who decide to photograph bears and they're incredibly good at it. One of my personal favorite photographers of all time, her name is Brooke Little Bear, and she just masters the art of photographing bears. I think she even offers classes, so you should really check her out. But I have to say, if I had to describe a weakness on myself as an artist, it would be wildlife photography. This was supposed to be a bird. Okay, this one's all right. Print it. Now, some of that has to do with the fact that I use all manual lenses. So a lot of modern cameras, like the one that you have in your pocket, for example, just ignore the crack at the back. And the camera I'm shooting on right now also focuses for you. However, the lenses that I have are known as the Minolta RAW series. Do not focus for you. You have to manually twist the lens around until you physically can get the picture in focus. So that's probably the first factor. I'm trying to take these pictures and I have to manually focus. Another factor is, frankly, I'm not very patient. A lot of wildlife photographers, even with the best gear, best top-of-the-line stuff, lenses and cameras that focus instantaneously, that now can detect different types of animals and their eyes, and just gets right in there, still have to wait for hours for that perfect photo. And I don't mind waiting for a different type of way. So for me, grabbing all of my gear and getting in my car and driving a long distance to go somewhere so I can take pictures of land is kind of my idea of putting the effort in and everything like that. Now, a lot of landscape photographers will hike and trek into the deep recesses of nature to get that waterfall shot, or similarly works with architecture. Someone will hike a long ways to get a certain shot of a building. However, most of the time that waterfall or that building, that's always going to be there. Unless, of course, we don't reverse the effects of climate change and eventually everything will just die and wilt and we'll all starve to death. That's a different topic for a different day. Right now, in 2023, if I decide to walk out into the forest, that forest is always going to be there. Now, if a wildlife photographer walks out in that same forest, they have a split second to get a bird grabbing a worm or a bug or perching on a tree, because birds move very fast and they dart around and they don't tend to stay in one place for very long to avoid predators. And even the big ones, they don't really want to get shot by hunters, or a lot of them have beef with crows. I mean, crows have beef with other birds. So birds don't really stay still, and neither do squirrels. I mean, raccoons, not even bears. They all keep moving. So to be a wildlife photographer, you kind of end up just hanging out in one place. You understand lighting and composition, so you know that the sun's going to come over a certain way, and you're hoping that something will be there at that point. I have a lot of patience for a lot of things, but as somebody who is also very impatient, that is something that, while I'm very interested in doing maybe one day, especially with lenses that are a little more modern, I'd rather stick to photographing people's faces or the landscape. Even though I'll do it every once in a while, especially because I have this glorious 300mm Minolta Rocore telephoto lens. But even still, that thing is what is considered slow, and it's very soft. So it ends up needing a lot of light, and it's very limited compared to some of the newer lenses. But I'm not here to talk about the technical mumbo jumbo. I'm here to just say that sometimes you need to just sit and wait in your own backyard. And I am very lucky because I am staying at a place with a very nice backyard. But I used to live in some pretty nasty places. I lived in an inner city house that was guarded by a giant security gate, and every time I wanted to go anywhere, I would lose my very valuable parking spot. So where I lived was Little Armenia in Los Angeles. And even still though, as some people would describe as a not fun place to live, it's still teeming with life. There's still things going on. There's always opportunities in your own backyard. It's important to not just only stay to your backyard, and I think you'll attest that the last few videos I did where I drove down to Florida was probably something much different than me being around here. But it's important to understand where you come from, or even where you are, is enough. There's enough to create art, and you are enough. And as long as you use these, and this, and a little bit of this, not too much, you don't want to overthink it, you are okay to make art. And sometimes I forget that, and sometimes I get caught up and I think, oh, I gotta drive long distances to do anything, and I just forget that sometimes home is enough.